Yes.
Now, so you are an I saw I Hispanic Polynesian woman. You call yourself what do you call yourself? Because is there a nickname people gave you? I heard
Uh,
AJ during the competition.
yeah. That's actually such a a common question, really, and I still, as much as time as I get asked that, I really don't know what I call myself. I go by anything. I go by Angelica, I go by AJ, I go by Jelly. They're all just nicknames that I've acquired and picked up throughout my life, and well, Angelica is like my birth name, so
Yes,
that one
yes.
I've had forever. Um, but I'm still waiting for like a solid strongman nickname, like a full stage name. I actually don't really like AJ as much, and I go through AJ. I started going by AJ like right after college because oh, like Jelly is just isn't so professional.
Really?
Yeah,
Why not?
I just didn't feel like it was a professional name to go into like corporate world and be like, yeah, my
Oh,
name is Jelly.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
so I came up with AJ, and now that I have like a stage that I'm on, I'm like, I don't really like AJ. It's so common. It's so, everyone's AJ. There's so many AJs out there, and but I liked it at the time. It was short, simple, and something that was in my head more professional than Jelly coming out of college. But I'm still waiting for this perfect stage name to be given to me. I have to be given a good nickname that I agree with. Um,
Right,
for
right. That's what I
for
was thinking.
this.
Bogey Knights. I love because he said he saw his name in lights, Dirk Diggler. So I think there's going to be fireworks going off, and Angelica just going to come, and you're going to be like, "That's my nickname, right
Yeah,
there." It's going to
yeah,
come out of the sky, and you're going to be like, "Oh, that's me,
yeah,
that's me." So
yeah.
I have so many. Okay, so you were the 2023 Pro Strongwoman, 2003 America's Strongest, and then you won the 2024 Arnold uh, Champion Classic, right? Right.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
so how? I got so many questions for you. So you grew up in Vegas. You
Yeah.
went to where did you end up going to college?
I went up graduated from UNLV, so
You
University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
yes, I know the running Reb. Now, were
Yes,
you in
yes.
Sigma Theta Psi? Was that your
Yeah,
sorority?
yeah, I was.
I guessed it.
Wow, you've done your research.
I have. Now, so what were your majoring in? Were you lifting weights in college? Did you play
No,
sports growing up?
no, not really. I mean, I did in middle school. I did a little bit of little league sports. I did baseball. I did the community dive team, and I did basketball. But I was never like a star on those teams or anything at all. I just did it because I wanted to get out of the house, and that was pretty much it. And then I got to high school, and I went to a high school with no sports at all. It was a very small high school.
Okay.
Like my graduating class was like 60 students. So everyone knew everyone. It was really, really small. And I mean, after those experiences, like, oh, sports was fun. It's nice to get out the house, but it wasn't something that was going to take me anywhere in life, or like I wasn't going to be like a professional in anything. That never crossed my mind. And in retrospect, I sort of wish I did go back to a normal high school where I did have, I never knew about the throwing. I never knew about track and field and like any
Right.
of the discus. Like I really wish I did, had went to a normal high school where I could have had those experiences. But my big focus growing up was just be really smart and just do really good in school and get good grades, and so that was like my big focus really.
So you go to college. What did you major in college?
I started majoring. I went had a ton of majors. I started really young. I started when I was 16, so I was like figuring myself
Wow.
out and like, just figuring out how to, yeah, grow up and yeah. So, anyways, I did communications. I was a business major, and then I ended up graduating an urban studies degree. Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
So how did this all come about? Like,
yeah,
did you fall into it? I mean, I watch your videos, so you have. I'm just blown away of the stuff that you've done so far. I mean, it's amazing.
yeah.
600 pound. So your personal best is you've done a 300 pound axle press, right? I mean, is that
Yeah.
140 kilograms? I'm sorry, I'm down
Yeah,
my.
yeah. So it's like 308 pounds. I just
Yes.
hit the world record on that this last August.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did it all come about?
Yeah.
Like what?
I mean,
That's
it. Pretty much exactly. I really just fell into it. It really was, I think it's so crazy that, life, like, it's one little decision that leads to another decision, and, like, it's really cool when you can look back and you can, like, "Oh, wow, had I never done this, I would have never found this, and I've never found this." And I can pretty much live through, like, all those little decisions that led to, like, this, um, which is, a lot longer than what we have time here for. But, basically what happened is I got into CrossFit for a little bit when I lived out in Maryland for a little bit, and I got into CrossFit because I didn't know anybody, and I just wanted to try something new while I was there. And then I hated Maryland. I moved back to Seattle, and I was like, well, I still want to do some type of conditioning or some type of fitness thing, and found a CrossFit gym across from my house. And it's really crazy because it's very, very uncommon for strongman to be inside of a CrossFit gym. But that happened to be the one strong man, that one CrossFit gym with the strongman class. And yeah, I was just lifting out in the CrossFit class, and one of the coaches like, "Hey, you're pretty strong. You should come try out strongman class." And then yeah, I went to the strongman class, and ended up pulling like a 405 deadlift. And, like, I didn't know I was capable of that at all, like, they were just like, "Pull this, pull this, pull this." I'm like, "Okay," and then I go and pull, and they're like, "Yeah, like, I think you need to do this sport instead of CrossFit." And
So
I'm like,
it was like a natural fit for you. That you were just doing it like it just came naturally to you.
yeah, I
Kind
mean,
of.
they definitely clown me now. They're like, "Yeah, you had the worst fucking form ever, but but you got it up."
Right. I mean, you've done. I showed my mom a video. I go, Mom, she's doing an overhead press with 300 pounds. She goes, Oh my god, oh my. I like showed it to her twice. She's like, I'm like, and I told my girlfriend, I'm like, she goes, Oh, I can do that. I go, Yeah, you can do. It. I mean, I watched you in competition. I've how many times do you train? What's your training schedule like? Is it a couple days a week? Is it what's that
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, I train 4 days a week, um, and I've calculated the hours. It's on average of, like, let's say 20 hours a week.
Okay,
Um, so yeah, I don't, do it. It's just crazy, I don't really do it full time, even though I'm a professional, like, the sport is such a niche sport where you can't, especially on a woman's side, you can't necessarily make a complete living off of it. There are now opportunities that have just now opened that pathway for us to make a living off of, doing really well in the sport. But I've also worked really hard for my own personal career, and, um, there is a little fear of, like, if I go and quit my day job, will I enjoy the sport as much? Because now, like, my living is now dependent on my
what
performance.
what is your day job if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I work for a dental manufacturing company in their IT department, so,
Okay, all right.
yeah. Yeah, so I work from home, I work remote, really fortunate for that, and, yeah, just work if you've ever worked with a CRM, I help configure our company CRM.
Oh, so that's not the website, it's something yeah, I
Yeah,
was not
it's like a sales app, that our sales team uses to sell their products, and they use it to, like, manage the accounts and stuff like that.
and you design all that stuff and keep it up to date and make all the bugs and all that stuff. Is that kinda
Correct.
right?
Yeah,
My
yeah,
friend
that's
does
right.
that. My friend Rhonda in Oklahoma City, she does kinda what you do, and she'd be fascinated by this, about
Yeah.
what you do. So, now what I found really interesting was that you had 2 competitions basically 2 weeks apart, right, this past year. What right?
Um,
Were they 2
not
weeks apart? I thought they were 2 am I incorrect? I was looking at the dates of some of them, and oh, right. 3 2 you did the Arnold Strongwoman Classic, the open division, where you won in 24, and then 2 weeks later, you went to the Arnold UK in Birmingham, England. Is that true?
yeah,
Is that
yeah. Yeah, so that was, 2 years ago.
right?
So
I
yeah,
know
when
it's 26,
yeah,
right?
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, so 2024, that was the first time that, I don't know the first time because, like, I was still pretty relatively new in the sport at that time. I didn't know too much about the history, as far as, like, those competitions, but I do know for the Arnolds, that was the 2nd year that the women have ever been put on the same stage as the men. And then the Arnold UK was the first time, at least that I've been around, that they had one where they competed there. So yeah, that was a little nerve wracking at first, was to think like, oh man, like 2 really big competitions, 2 weeks apart. So that was a lot of training. Um, some of the events were very similar, but just a lot of events you've got to incorporate because yeah.
Now, the thing I wanted to ask you is, so you finished the Arnold in the U.S. How much time do you need to recover after an event like that? Are you sore for? I mean, you're sore for a day or two. I mean, I
Yeah.
lift them up. What's that like?
I think there's more of a mental recovery than a physical recovery for me right now.
Okay, really?
So yeah, so I think like mentally, like there's a thing called the comp blues, where like you've been working the last couple months for this peak, this competition, which is like the peak of your emotions and you're nervous and everything has been working and geared up towards this one moment, and then that day comes and it goes, and now you're like, all right, what do I do now? Um, with that though, that was a different sense of like because there was only 2 weeks, there really wasn't no comp blues, um, but there still was a mental aspect of like I mean for me, I never expected to win the Arnold. It's very rare for anyone to go and win the Arnold on their first try, um, so I think I I hate to say this, but I feel like I didn't appreciate it as much as I would now appreciate it, because I didn't know the gravity or the depth of having such a title. I went in there, it's like, I just want to get top five and show that, hey, I belong here and I'm going to work my freaking way to the top. So
Right.
when you get to the top right away, it's sort of like should I, do I deserve to be right here? Did I work hard enough to get to this point? Um, so I don't say I yeah. Going back to the question, sorry, I'm going on a tangent now. As
You're
far as
like
like
me. It's
yeah,
beautiful, actually. You're doing phenomenal. You just keep doing you. I love
yeah.
it.
But as far as like preparedness, I was a lot more prepared physically than I thought I was able to. I always joke around and say like I'm only strong really 4 times out of the year, and I seriously feel that way sometimes. Like I feel like all the stars have to align.
Right.
Like I have to have a really good peak system. Hopefully my menstrual cycle is aligned. Hopefully, my nutrition has been really good. Hopefully the North Star aligns with the South Star. And then I'm like at my peak strongest.
Oh, so all the mental cycles really can mess up you in a competition and everything.
Yeah, it definitely has an effect on you. And
Okay.
there are some times where yeah, I mean, in training, you'll feel it, and you try to like. For me, I try to like not mentally let it get to me, like. But there are some times where this doesn't feel good, and then it's like oh
Right.
well these other factors are going
Right.
on.
These other factors
Um,
into play. Wow.
yeah, so I truly believe like I'm my most strongest like 4 times out of a year. If everything lines up right, I surprise myself with how strong I truly can be.
Now you have so March 5th is the next competition in the Arnold in Columbus, correct?
Yes,
How
yes,
how how are you feeling? Like, have you geared up? Do you call him you give a coach? You have a
yeah,
nutritionist,
yeah,
and are you working with your coach as we speak? I mean, you just never stop working with your coach. I guess there's always
yeah,
techniques
yeah.
to improve, right?
Yeah, yeah, we've gone on I think we've just made 2, almost 3 years of being coach athletes, together, and
Okay,
yes, so we have, like, an off season and then the in season, so technically my and it depends. Every strongman, every strength athlete has a different off season, in season. It depends, and you really choose when those seasons are because you decide when you want to do those competitions. But when you get to like the higher level, you really don't have much of a decision on when. It's especially
it's when they
on
right.
the women's side. There's only like 2 really big competitions.
Which of
Um,
the two? The Arnold, the Strongwoman Arnold Classic, and
yeah,
the
and
one
then
overseas,
the Rogue Invitational.
Strong
So
Invitational. Okay,
yeah, these last 2 years, like, that's what I've been considering, like, "Alright, my season will start as I prep for Rogue, and then it'll go on until the end of Arnold, and then after Arnold, I technically have an off season from, like, March until August, which is a
Oh,
pretty long
oh
time."
wow. Oh,
Yeah,
so you're in training right now. It,
yeah.
so I was fat. Like, what's your now? Who's your nutritionist? I want to give props to who's your nutritionist. Do you have a
Um,
nutritionist?
I do, I took a little break from him.
Oh, you did.
Uh,
Okay,
yeah, but I was working with him, like, the last since I've started really, Braden Soul.
right.
And, yeah, I took a little break because I wasn't being a good nutrition client. So I was like, "Hey, I don't wanna keep disappointing you," and he's
I don't
just
want to
so
cry.
patient.
I'm tired of crying so much. So yes, I
Yeah,
made a mistake. Yes.
yeah.
Is it hard for you with the new? Is it hard for you to keep like what is your daily? Do you have plan? You do your meals for the week? How do you do your nutrition? I'm just kind of was curious about
Yeah,
that.
so it is I think the training is the easy part. You know, you go into the gym 3, 4 hours a day, 4 times a week. That part's fine, but everything else, all the time out of it is also part of your performance. And, you know, if you're in the gym for 4 hours and the rest of the 20 hours is up for you to make sure that you're getting your nutrition in, you're getting your proper sleep in at least 8 hours.
Right,
And that has been the most challenging just because like I've always been like on the heavier set. Um since, I could ever remember. I couldn't even show you my skinny days. Um, so that's always been a challenging for me. But since I've started, it's changed the way that I looked at food. It changed the way that I approach food and looking at it more as fuel and not as comfort and not as like, yeah, I like food that tastes good. Um, but it's made me more conscious of like, protein, making sure that I get a good amount of protein. Like that's at minimal. I'm getting 260 grams of proteins because I'm scared. If I don't get my protein in, then I can't make the muscles and I can't get stronger. Um,
right.
so that's pretty much how it goes. I'll meal plan. I'll meal prep like just bunch of meat at one time. So like tonight actually is my meal prep night, where I'm gonna make some chicken thighs. I'll make some steaks for the week, and then I'll portion that out into 8 ounce or 6 ounce, and then I'll just throw some sides with it, whether it's just rice and veggies or really simple. Before I used to spend a lot of time meal prepping. I was like, it made me like despise it and not like it as much.
Right.
So you need to do something. For me, it's like it's very important for me to do something that I can maintain, and I didn't want to just do something and go so hard in and then I fall off the wagon. Like to me, I've got to
Right.
look at this as a lifestyle change.
Yes.
So
That's interesting you said it like that. Are you a good sleeper? Because I'm a terrible sleeper. Are you a good sleeper?
I'm pretty good with sleep. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm pretty good. My body won't wake me up unless it's been a few hours, like 8 hours. Even if I try, like it won't wake up unless it's been 8 hours. Unless I'm like out on vacation or like not in my home, then
right.
I'm a little easier to wake up. But no, if I'm going to sleep, my body 12, my body doesn't want to wake up till 8.
So
Um,
so when do you train? Are you when do you do your training? Before work, after work? What's your training schedule
yeah,
like?
so I do it after work. I work like a normal 9 to 5.
Okay.
Or, well, 8 to 5. I do, like, what is it, 980s, they call it, so, like, every other Friday I get off, which I like because when I have that Friday off, I'll work during the day I work in the daytime, but for the most part, I work in the evenings when I get off of work, so that'll look like I'll be at the gym from, like, 7 to, like, maybe 12, and that's just because the gym's, like, an hour away to when I'm in prep, it's, like, an hour away during that peak time.
Wow, it's that far away. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Hour each way.
Yeah,
Now,
it's a lot
is that
it's
what's that
traffic.
gym called? Is that the dungeon? What's that gym called that you work
Yeah,
out at?
Dungeon Strains. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So you,
when I'm in season. I am fortunate. So the gym that I originally started out of, the CrossFit gym, Lake Washington CrossFit, they're really close. They're like 5 minutes away. So if I can, I try to look at my programs because that gym has some things that I can, but there are some things that they don't have because it's a CrossFit gym. They don't really have a lot of machines or anything like that, or just the fact that my coach is down at Dungeon. That's where he's at, and if I want to be able to train with him in person, that's just where I have to go. Um, so yeah, I try to split up. I'm not doing that. I used to do it a lot more, but now I'm like, if I'm in prep, I'll do the hour drive. I'll make that sacrifice. But if I'm not in prep, this gym pretty much has everything that I need in order to keep training and do all the things I need
but
to
now
do.
you're in, but now so are we in prep right now? Are you in prep right now?
Yeah,
We're in
yeah. I
prep time.
just finished my first week. Yesterday was the last day of my first week.
How is your body feeling after the first week?
It's actually feeling pretty good, and that's because this last like in between Rogue and this prep, we still trained. We don't ever not train. The most we'll go is like a week after competition. We'll give like a whole week, and I like that. Just like not even think about the gym, not think about nutrition, just sort of be normal and just enjoy it. Um, and then after that. we my coach doesn't even like for me to call it off season because he's like, we're still preparing for the Arnold. Don't think of it off. Like you're this is the pre-prep. So I went into a pre-prep. Um,
Right.
and this is we didn't have all our events. So me and my coach, we legit just sat down and we looked at all the other Arnolds and we looked like, all right, what do we think it's gonna be at the Arnolds? And we like listed all these things down. And so we looked at those events and then we're like, all right, well then he goes and he does his little mastermind stuff and like he just pretty much programmed me a little bit of everything. So before we started this week, we were just prepping everything. Like we did like almost all the implements you could think of. Um, so when we got the events, we're like, "Whoa, like, we did a really good job of predicting what they would
Oh, you
be."
did? Oh, so
So
you right.
they were so that sort of like yeah, I was like, it worked out really well. So now I'm going into the first week, and I'm doing movements that I've been doing the last 2, last month on a lighter scale. So now we can start at a little bit heavier, this first week because I've been prepped going into here.
Even though you took time off, you're still not it's not like a complete time off. You're still training. You're just not training as intensely, would you say, almost in a way?
Yeah, not as intensely. The weights are a lot lighter, and it's a little bit more of everything. Whereas like now that we have the events, it's more focused. Like if we have very extension dominant movements, then we're gonna hone in and train harder on extensions and um, the events that they gave
So
us.
so so we so when you say lighter weights, like if you're doing an overhead press, is it I mean, if you've done the record for 308, are you working with 200, 150? What are you working with
Yeah,
at that?
so we do it off of percentage wise. So
Okay.
we're looking at like this last one I ended I think at like 70%, something like that. And like
Okay.
so before I started this week I had a deload and before that, like my last working set was like maybe 230, 220 on my log um for some reps. So yeah, that's what it'll be like percentage. We won't really go more than like maybe we'll do 80% at the end of the block, but for the most part, it'll be we're not doing 90, 100% in training. I mean,
Right,
we don't
right.
even do that now for in actual prep. Like we'll hit 95% and maybe 100% once or twice, but we don't really go max out in training. We max out on the stage.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like there's some days where you feel like you could walk through a wall. There's others day where you have to it's going through quicksand, right? I mean, like every other
Yeah.
athlete. And,
Yeah.
and you're big into the mental makeup because that's where you feel like when the pressure gets high, you kind of just almost like flatline. You calm yourself down in a way because you know the pressure's on. You picked
Yeah.
up a 259-pound boulder. Is that what you had to do? You had to pick up what do you have to winter competition? Was it a 259-pound
Was that
boulder?
the Arnold 2024? Are you referring to that one?
Yes, I am referring to that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, so that was the last event, and I had no idea that I was that close to winning. But one of my training partners that I trained with, Erin Murray, she's actually like four-time world's strongest woman, and she she's seen me training and I was in the back and I'm like wearing one of those people I really don't look at the scores. I try to leave it all to my coach. I just want to go out there and lift. My coach tells me, "Hey, try to get this number." He does all the numbers because there is a strategy and calculations that you can play in this game. It's not always like going balls to the walls. Like you want to conserve energy where you can conserve energy and on your weaker events, how to rebound from those. And there's a lot more strategy than
Right,
just being strong.
right. It's just not
Um,
just going on, like you said, because then you just fizz out, right? I mean, there's
yeah,
things you're better at than others. Okay,
yeah. So she came back and she was like, "Hey, if you do what you did in training, you can win this." And that's all she said. Just do what you did in training. And yeah, so I went out there and I was like, "What? That's crazy." And I just did what I did in training. And
because I
yeah,
saw you pick up a boulder and you're down like in a squat and you're like, oh, it's in the right. Like you almost said to you were saying it's in the right spot. Like I
yeah,
have it in the right spot. And I'm looking at you and I'm like, God, she's really calm. She's really like, and you just
yeah.
kind of, I mean, you were throwing, what are you talking about? You threw what was it? You said it looked like you were throwing paperweights over the bar. And you saw
Uh,
yourself in the video afterwards. You're like, "Oh my god, I guess it did look that easy." But when you're doing it,
Yeah.
you're not thinking that. But when you watch a video of yourself, and I'm like, "Oh my god, she looks like she just throwing a piece of paper, like in the old Star Trek episodes, the fake rock." That's what it looked like, and I was like, "Oh my god, Angelica." I was just now. So if you train for, if you're there for 4 or 5 hours, you do an exercise. Does it take, like, if you're doing your sets, you do a set and there's a, how much time you take off in between? I'm just kind of curious about that
Yeah,
because I know.
so it's funny, it's like, yeah, I'm there, like, 4 or 5 hou like, I say 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours is, like, travel, 4 or 5 hours of
Right, right,
travel.
okay,
But, like, it's funny, if I were to go and do everything back to back to back, and I didn't take no rest time in between, I didn't have to
right.
set up and break up, I could get it all done within 2 hours. But it's, you're warming up for these sets, so if I have a 600 deadlift or I'm working up to 500 deadlift tomorrow, I have to go and, like, I'm loading bar, I'm doing 135 first. Then I'll go and I'll record myself and doing it. I'm like, all right, how does that feel? I'm going and reviewing my lifts right after that. And then I'll
Oh,
go and put more weight on it and I'll go and see how I'll record. I do record myself a lot and I watch myself a lot while I'm
but
training.
but that has to
And
help.
yeah, yeah, it helps. Like, you wanna know how you look, like, did that feel good? Alright, how did that look when it felt good? And there's sometimes, like you're saying, like, me saying that it was hard, there's some times where I'm like, "Oh my goodness, like, that was so freaking hard," and then I go and watch the film, and it's like, yeah, it didn't move like it was hard, meaning that sometimes your brain just lies to you, and it's telling you that it's heavy, but your body is completely capable of doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So,
it really is. I mean, that's one of the things I read about you, was that the mental game, like, you don't get it, like, exactly, like, it isn't as
yeah.
hard, like, "Oh my god." So and then you'll watch the video, and so you'll give yourself a couple minutes between every set at least.
Yeah, yeah, and then, I mean, we have, like, a 3 to 5 minute, that's our range. We wanna, like, if it's lighter weights, 3 minutes. If it's, a lot heavier sets in between, then you wanna give yourself 5 minutes so that your CNS can come back down and, your body is well adjusted or at least as rested as it can be for the next to push hard again.
Now, you said you're seeing. Are you wearing a heart rate monitor? Are you wearing a heart rate monitor, or is it just the watch? Are you wearing a watch, anything like that, or is it just more?
No, it's just more you have a feeling, you get familiar with your body and, yeah.
Yeah, I train people, and I do the talk test. I'm like, can you talk to me? If you okay, you're winded. That's how I usually go by it. I'm like,
Yeah,
you can't talk to me because, but in
yeah.
the competitions, it really it is more. How long does each, when you go to the classic and you're in a medley, right? That's what it's, a medley and everything you're doing. How long
Yeah.
do you actually? There aren't breaks like that. I mean, I guess you're doing. I know it's shot for TV, but there are breaks in between each part. How does that work?
Yeah, so that's actually, yeah, so what happens is, like, the events can be anywhere between 60 seconds to, like, 2.5 minutes is the longest I've
Okay.
seen, and
Wow.
sometimes, you're doing your first event at 10 a.m., your next
Right.
event isn't until 12, 1 o'clock, and
Okay.
that's actually, I think, a lot more challenging than, if you do, event, because you're getting your adrenaline pumped up. You're getting,
Right.
if you're doing pre-workout, I used to actually, I moved back to
Now,
that.
now get lost
But
for 2 hours, and you're like, "Uh,"
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's
And then
so that's
now
a,
you're like you're having to go all the way up for that 60 seconds, and after that you've got to bring yourself right back down. So that way you can rest, refuel, get some food in you, get some drinks in you, and now wait 2 hours until you have to bring yourself all the way up again. And I think that was a little challenging, just because yeah, it is a little bit of waiting around in between and going from very intense to nothing. Because when after you've done doing that, you're like, "I can do anything now." You just wanna, like
and the body's like, "Oh wait, we got 2 hours. Better,
Yeah,
Angelica, take it down a notch. Take it down." You're
yeah,
like, you got to be. I mean, after you complete one of the one of the events, and then it, like, even when you come home from training, I guess you kind of like wind down from the ride
Oh,
home.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
because you got to be. Are you wired when you get home?
yeah, it can be so I don't do pre-workout, if I work in the evening. If I do, I'll do a non-stimulant one where there's no caffeine,
Okay.
um, but because I work out in the evenings and I'm not getting home till 11, 12 o'clock at night, I don't wanna do anything to help me stay more awake because, yeah, I am now pumped, I am now alert, and then Um, but sometimes I'll be driving. It's such a long drive home where it's like it'll hit me, and like then you're like, oh, geez, like that was a that was a hard workout today because I'm like the sleepiness starts creeping over you, and
Right
then
as you're
there's other
driving home.
days,
Right.
yeah. Then there's other days I get home and I'm just up, and I'll come home and I eat. I'll eat my dinner. I'll go shower, and then I'll have like an hour of like I just want to watch TV for a little bit, um, and then put myself to sleep like
What do
one
you what
o'clock.
do you watch? What would you watch that would help you fall asleep?
I don't I watch it doesn't necessarily help me fall asleep, but it's like but like I watch them like right now I'm really into Stranger Things. I just
Oh, I have not watched the last hour. I have not watched the last episode, but I
okay. I'm in season 3. I didn't watch
okay.
it. I've seen so much hype about it. I was like, all
Yes.
right,
Right.
let
Right.
me check it out.
No, I respect
Um,
you for that, Angelica. I really do. I think that's that's cool. I like that. You're like, yeah. So what do you think of it so far?
yeah, it's I think it's cool. There's some of it like there's some episodes I gotta go back and watch because I just sort of just lost interest in it. Like, I'm a person, like, I can watch a movie, and I can watch a movie over the course of a week. Like, I'll play it for a little bit,
And then
and
walk
I'll
you walk
pause
away.
it. Yeah, pause it, go to bed, and then tomorrow resume it, and, yeah, so it may take me a few times to take me a few sessions to watch a movie or something like that, but
Another thing that popped in my head: do you
yeah.
listen to specific music when you train? Do you have music? Is it their music or your music? Do you have headphones on?
If
What
I
do you?
have the choice,
Yes,
it's
if
my
you have the
music.
choice.
It depends on where I am, what gym I'm in,
Okay.
because if I come to the one next to my house, the gym closes at 8 o'clock. So at 8 o'clock, I have the whole gym to myself.
Oh wow. Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
the one at my house, the one by my house, which doesn't have
Okay.
all the strongman stuff, but it has all the, it has everything you need to make a champion at least. Um,
Okay.
so there, I'll I'll listen to whatever. It just depends on the mood. Some days I'll listen to Hawaiian music. Some days I'll listen to Kanye West. Some days I want some Bad Bunny. Like it just depends on the mood that I'm in that day. Where it's just like I can listen to very chill, very island reggae, and some people don't like it because they're like, I want to get pumped, and I'm over here, you're making me want to like sit on a beach somewhere, and I'm like, this music does make me pumped.
It does make me pumped. I'm like, this is working for me. So, and actually, I
Yeah.
think when they see you throw weights around, I think they would give you, they let you play the music you want. I mean, I would think most people would be like, all right. Now,
Yeah.
interesting you say you call yourself the strong man, but really you're a strong woman. It's a strong woman, but I guess that's the name that's always gone as a strong man competition. And is that a
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, it's sorta hard. I mean, because the actual name of the sport is called strongman, like, "Oh, you
Right.
do strongman." So, when I'm, like, telling people about it, um, I always get mixed up with, like, "I'm a strong woman that does strongman." Or if I say, "Yeah, I compete in strongman," and now they're looking at me, questioning me and my gender and my identity. I'm like,
Right.
so that can get confusing sometimes, I guess, to other people.
Now, I also, and you're very adamant that you're natural, which yeah, I see natural. But
Yeah.
are you competing against women that are on performance enhancing? Can they be that in your competitions, or is
Yeah.
everybody drug tested?
No, the sport is untested, and I think that's what makes the sport so amazing and so different, is you get to see true freaks of nature. There is no limits. You're
Wow,
seeing, women just pushing the boundaries in all ways. So,
but that's not
yeah.
something you have you thought about, or
Um, I'm really open with it. I'll never say never because I don't want to, 5 years down the road and be like, AJ said she was gonna be natty for life, and then I change my mind.
No, no, I was that's what I was curious about because I saw you training with a woman and I heard the voice and I was like, I mean, I know, I heard the steroid, I heard that something was on. You were training with someone outside. It was an outside video I saw of you with another training partner, I guess, and I could tell that
Okay.
she had. Which and listen,
Yeah.
I've worked out my whole life. Everybody's taken. I'm just saying what I saw, but I was more. I was like, holy shit, she's doing this all natty, and I was like. I'm just blown away. I mean, what? So you don't even feel like you've touched the hit.
Yeah, I think
There's
for me right now, I'll say I'll say never. I'll never say never, but as long as I'm still doing well, as long as I'm able to keep up, as long as I'm still getting stronger, I'm still getting more athletic, I'm still making progress in the gym. um, where I don't feel like I need it right now, and it depends, if I'm still doing this 10 years from now, and then yeah, let's see, but also I think my goals, I have a lot of goals in my life outside of strong women that
Like what? Like what? I'm just
like I
curious.
want to like I want to have kids, and I don't know what the consequences of those are.
Right. Right.
So there's a lot of things that are like I want to do these things first before I think of doing that yet. I've always wanted to have kids since I was like a kid. And that to me that's priority of like things that I want to do right now.
Right.
And I wouldn't want to risk, I mean, it's just so new, like with women and like women doing those things. Like there isn't enough studies on them for me personally to be secure and saying, okay, if I do this, I can still have kids. There isn't enough studies that says that. If there was like, yeah, you'll be just fine, nothing will ever change. You can have kids, you can do all these things, then maybe I'd be tempted to. Um, if I felt like I was hitting like a plateau or something, but as long
Right.
as
You're
I'm,
not
getting
right.
stronger, I'm still learning, like, I'm still perfecting my form. There's so many other things I need to do before I even think about that. I've still gotta get my nutrition right. I've still gotta get there's just so many other things where I'd be, stepping on dollars to pick up nickels. So,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it's interesting you said that because I worked out. I remember there was a guy who trained in one of my gyms, and he was trying to go pro, and I saw him. He had doctors, he was everything, and he still wasn't good enough. And he was the biggest guy I ever saw, and he worked his ass off. And I was always like, because I think it blows my mind now that you told me this. So you won competitions against people who were taking taking drugs, and they still could have beat you, which had to be like that blows my mind in a way. Like here, these people are doing everything they can, and you're just like, doo, 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 and you this natural ability inside of you. That's
Yeah.
even more impressive in a way. I mean, wow. And you said you're not even close to hitting your you're not plateauing. You said you have. I'm not trying to give away things to competitors, but have you found the things that you're weak at? You're working at, like they said,
Oh,
some
I'm
events are
I'm
weaker.
super open about, like, my weaknesses, and, I think at the end of the day I can tell you all my weaknesses, how is that gonna affect you? If I'm
No,
weak at
yeah,
my
right,
grip.
right,
If
right,
I have a
right.
weak grip, how's that gonna affect you? I mean, you
You
have a
still got to
stronger
pick up.
grip, great. That's
Right,
just for
right.
me to know. I've gotta get a stronger grip. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of weaknesses that I'm still working through, and uh, my coach does a really good job of, he looks at this as a marathon, where I've got
That's
years in the sport, and we're even if that means, yeah, I'm not number 1 for these next couple years. I'm just continuously building so that way when I do get to that point, I can dominate for as long as I can. But yeah, there's yeah, we're looking at the longevity of my career, not so much as I don't want to
right.
be a what's it called? Like a one time,
Flash in the pan, or like
yeah,
a
flash
one
in the
hit wonder
pan.
kind of thing. Yeah, I see
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And you're what I saw two firsts. What is it? Three. You've been in 8 competitions. The lowest you finished is fourth. So it's first,
yeah,
second, third, or fourth. I mean, so it's working. And I always tell people it's a marathon, not a sprint. And people I said, it really, life is that. You can't really, I don't know if you ever heard about this, but they did a study with the Olympic athletes. They said if we gave you a drug, 5 years, you'd break every record. And then 5 years, you drop dead. They said almost half the athletes said they would take it. So I'd have 5 years of greatness and then drop dead. Because a
yeah,
lot of people look at like, but you're looking at this like, no, 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 no. I see, I mean, there's things I want, but I know like you're going to these competitions, you're like, I've done this, I've won, and I'm competing against other women, and there are other women that you're eyeing at, right, in the competition. Do you have an arch rival right now? Is there someone
yeah.
out there that you're competing against?
It's funny. So we say we're arch rivals, but truly, I would never speak down on another woman that I'm competing against because,
And I
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
saying that.
yeah,
I didn't mean it like
yeah,
that. I just meant no,
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
mean it like that. I
But
just meant
like,
someone that pushes you harder is what I meant. You
yeah,
know?
yeah, for sure. I mean, Inez Carrasquillo, she's like, she's won the last three big competitions.
What's her
Um,
name?
Inez Carrasquillo.
Okay, I gotta look that one up. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's been very dominant this last year and a half, and you know, it's she started like a year, maybe a year and a half before I started, and she's continuously getting better. She has like, she's pretty tall. So like, yeah, she has some like physical advantages of me of like being a little taller and stuff like that. But I also have other advantages of like, being shorter and broader. Um,
Right.
but yeah, we joke, but we're very much like, I give flowers when flowers are due, and she's fucking killing it right now. So she's sitting
You're
there.
like,
She's number one. She's number one right now. But I tell her every chance I get, I'm coming for you. So you can't be at the top forever.
no, but that's what I like, Angelica. That you see, you're no bullshit. You're just like this. I got to be honest with you. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
fuck. Yeah, like you wouldn't just give platitudes to people just to just I'm not going to blow
yeah,
smoke up your ass. This is I got to be honest with you. She's really good, and
yeah,
that's what I respect about you. Is you're like there's no bullshit with you. You're like it is what it is,
yeah,
and it is cool to look at somebody and say, okay, that's where I want to get to. And it is interesting. So she's taller, but you're more compact in a way, and you're like
yeah,
boom. Yeah, explosion. That's what I see when I see you do certain events.
yeah,
What's one of the events you loved? Is there one of the events or a couple that you really love doing when you train? Is it
yeah.
the
There would
farmer's
be
walk?
no, heck
No, you
no,
hate that.
hell no.
You hate that. Hell no. Hell no. She's like hell no to that.
Yeah, and I hope I don't see that any. I haven't seen it in like a year, so I'm happy about
Oh,
that.
I got to knock on
Uh,
some wood. That we got to knock on some wood for you.
but it's okay. You know why? Because circus dumbbell, I used to hate to see that, and it ended up in every single show. And now I think I'm like probably top 5 in the world because I've had no choice but to train it.
Right. It's so it's like a big It's like the
Yeah,
old strong men. And
yeah.
what weight do they go up to? What weight do they go up to? When
So they go up. It depends on who's lifting it, but recently Sam Bellevue, she just uh hit a world record last Arnold at a 200 pounds, and
wow,
she weighs like 180 pounds. So
really?
it's freaking crazy. Yeah, she's like one of the best circus dumbbells, and it's a very technical movement. I mean, yeah, you got to be strong for it, but I would say you can get a lot further with good technicality on that movement.
Okay. So that's one of the ones you've gotten better at. What
Yeah.
about what's that? That's the yoke where you carry the what's the thing you
Yeah,
put
the yoke. I'd love to see a really heavy yoke. That's always pretty fun. I've haven't gone any heavier than like 650 on that, so I'd love to.
only 650. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I'd love to push that a little heavier, but training wise, like yeah, I'm a little lazy in the sense I like training things that don't take a lot of setup. So I like
Okay.
I like yoke, I like log, I like stones, you just roll them out.
Right.
I like, stuff like that where um like I don't like armor worm because yeah, I'm not that good at it, but it's just you got to get the sled out, you got to get the rope out, you got to get the sandbags to hold your foot placement.
Oh, so
And
that it's
so
a lot of prep to get it ready, and you just
it's
want
a
to
lot of prep for like a 60-second run.
right.
And so like that makes me like I'm defeated by the time I've got it all together and I'm just like yeah.
But
So
I did see you do it at Target with your friends on the. That was
yeah.
hilarious. You put your
Yeah.
friends and you just pull them through the Target. I thought that was great. I was like, hey, we don't need a cart. We have Angelica. She'll just
Yeah.
pull us through the whole store.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. And the rocks is it's a lot of mental too, but it's also about it's a lot of technique because you got to pick it up and you have to have a good core and a base, right? I mean,
Yeah, I like the rocks. I like
the
puzzles in
boulders,
general. Like I like puzzles. I've always liked puzzles growing up, and that's what I think. Look at rocks. Like they're like handheld puzzles, Because yeah, there are ways. If you lift it up this way is better than that way. The leverages are better. There's some handles on this side, and I think that every rock. I mean, every rock is different, especially if you're using natural rocks. Um, but even, like, atlas stones, which are the round ones that are, like, perfectly sphere,
right?
those ones are pretty fun too, just because, like,
They're fun.
there's just there's gratification with any lift, but, like, those ones specifically, I feel the most gratification with because, once you get it and you can get everything lined, you get all your technique like, to be able to roll it from
Right.
your knees to your shoulder, it's, like, the craziest feeling ever,
It
it's
has
like
to be
yeah.
right. Yeah. I mean, it just and the thing is, the competitions. your heart rate is just going like zoom, right, and then you kind of have to calm yourself right in between. It's almost like a constant yo-yo, right, with your heart rate and
Yeah,
everything, and getting your breath under
yeah.
control and everything, and not
So when I
hyperventilating it away.
first started, I used to have a really, really bad habit. I would always say, "I don't do drugs, but I do a shit ton of pre-workout." And so I had a really bad habit because I don't do pre-workout on a regular basis, and I did it because I was like, "I'm gonna keep my tolerance to it low, so that way when I compete, I'll do a lot of pre-workout, and that'll be like, extra fuel," I was thinking. But then, I worked with my coach, and he was like, more pre-workout isn't always better. Sometimes you can actually affect your endurance because your heart rate is pumping so fast. Um, but not only that, I do so much pre-workout day one, I'd come back to my Airbnb or my room and I'd throw up. And like
Oh,
I just throw up and then I would be up all night because I'm cracked out on caffeine. And now I can't sleep for day two. And so I've had to like definitely just fix my measurements, like, this last one, I barely did any pre-workouts, or, like, I'll do it between the first event and the second event, by the third
so
event,
so
no
Angelica,
pre-workout.
the pre-workout is a drink. What is the pre-workout? What
It's
is it?
just like a powder, I just use anyone really, I mean, not anyone, but it's just a pre-workout,
Oh,
it comes with, like, caffeine,
okay,
beta-alanine, and, like, um, just
right,
something to help get you stimulated before you go to the
right,
gym.
right, right. But you have to even balance that. And like you said, throwing up all night, and then you're like, oh shit, I got to go to day two, and I'm like, I'm dragging it, right? I mean, oof,
Yeah, and I'm, like, wide awake and I can't sleep. It's really, really hard. I can normally go to sleep before day 1, but after day 1, after I've had the adrenaline rush, I've got caffeine and pre-workout in me, and now I've gotta go to sleep and wake up early tomorrow morning and do it all again. Yeah, it's really, really hard where I'm, like, drugging myself to sleep with, like, Benadryl and, like, NyQuil, like, "Go to sleep."
does it work usually? So you work. That's the thing you have to
Sometimes.
work on. Oh, so that's the thing you have to work on again
This,
for this.
yeah, this last year I've gotten a little better with it. I've got a little better with not overdoing a pre-workout. It took a little less pre-workout. Um,
It really is a
and
science. It's like
yeah,
you're a
it
mad
is.
scientist with your body. You're like, oh, that's a little too much, and you got to
Yeah,
constantly play with
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah,
Holy shit!
yeah, pretty much. And, yeah, and also, like, what did I get for sleep this time? I think I found that Benadryl works the best because I was, like, taking NyQuils and they weren't working and some melatonin and,
Right,
so now I'm just like, "Alright, I need to eat a little earlier and then just go to the room," and, like, as soon as I feel sleepy, let myself go to sleep because if I fight it, it's gonna be so much harder to fall
right.
asleep, um, when I actually need to fall asleep, so
So how many days is the competition in March?
it's 2 days.
So it's 2 days,
Yeah.
and is it on? It's on the internet. I mean, it's streaming. That's what internet. It's like I'm 90.
Yeah.
It's on the internet. Okay, all right. Can I what? But it's streaming. Where's it? Is it streaming on the website? I mean, on
Yeah,
the. I gotta
yeah,
check that out.
I think it's free on, maybe on YouTube.
All right. And you
Yeah.
have a YouTube channel. You have like how many? You have
Yes, sir.
I was I subscribed to. I just subscribed to. I was like, all right.
Oh,
And you're
thanks.
who are you sponsored by? You got
Sponsored
some
by
sponsor.
Service Strength. They do strength gear and they do like they even do some equipment like Denny rings and barbells, but they do a lot of like elbow sleeves, knee sleeves, belts. Um, and then I have a apparel sponsor and they're really cool called Death Before Dishonor. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, they help me in like just getting funds for like we we get a lot of things covered, but there's still a lot of things we don't get covered, and just being an athlete in general, like the amount of money I pay for food and stuff like that.
What
Um,
is that? Yeah, what does that run you?
yeah,
I mean, that has to run you a
I
fortune.
probably spend like $800 on food a month.
Wow.
Um, and that's just me. But
Right.
I go to Costco like twice a month, and it's like 300 to 400.
That's what I
So
was
I
gonna ask
mean,
you. Yeah, bulk. You get the bulk stuff.
yeah, I get
Yeah.
the bulk stuff, and, like, I I used to be, like, very conscious about how much I paid about for food, and I would tell my nutritionist, like, "This costs too much," like, "This costs too much," like, "It's more expensive when I get the 96.4 meat compared to if I get the 88.12 meat, that one's cheaper per pound," and he goes, "Well, if you think about it like this, you're paying for your health, and, you're paying yeah, it costs more, but it's better for your body, and, he
Right,
really helped change my mindset on, like, it's worth it, if you wanna be better, if you wanna give your body better food, you have to think that you're making an investment for your body.
right, right. So yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I wanted to get this. Want to do a first interview with you. I know you're busy,
Yeah,
and
no.
I would love to have you come on again if you're interested. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. Is it harder if you want to get closer to the competition?
It does get a little harder, if we plan it out in advance, and, I have a pretty set schedule now that I'm in prep, I have a pretty set schedule, so I can get it, um yeah, sometimes I have a calendar, so as long as we get in my calendar, uh
Because
yeah.
I didn't know how much time you were going to give me, and then I'm like, well, I know she's been talking for a while, and I know she's probably like, I gotta eat or something. You got to do something soon. But
Yeah, yeah, it's no pressure, I mean, no rush at all, I mean, once you have my time, you've got my time, like,
okay, good,
my
good.
undivided attention,
Well, I
for
know
sure.
that I know
Yeah,
because yeah, I saw you doing 216 pounds per hand with a fat back farmer. I was like, oh my god. I was
yeah.
like, just carrying that stuff. And you had a lot of good things you said about yourself. I know I wrote something. Yeah. So Zach McCarley has been your trainer for. Oh, McCarley's. You've been your coach for almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
Wow. And you said your sorority sisters in college
Actually, just
helped
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, yeah, actually do. Because
Are
we
you
started working, with each other when I got my invite to Arnold's, which was in, like, 2023 of November,
right?
um, that's why I was like, "Hey, I got an invite to Arnold, can you help me prep for this?" Because
How did that? So yeah,
prior to
how do you get the invite to it in the first place?
I
How did
had
you
won
get?
America's Strongest Woman.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah,
Okay,
I had won
okay.
America's Strongest Woman, and I really only think I got the invite is because I beat Olga Lishuk, and Olga is one of the best consistent strong women, there has been for the last decade probably. She's like always top 3. And so I think honestly, sorry Olga, had I not beat Olga, I probably would not have gotten an invite because Olga was the expected winner of that show. Um, but yeah, prior to that, I was actually my coach was Andrea Thompson, who is now my competitor. So
Really?
when I got that invite, I was like, "Hey, Andrea, I think, I should probably move to someone local and not my competitor." And she was fully on board and like she's just she's amazing. But yeah, she's like, "No, that makes complete sense." on, going to another coach because yeah, that would be very interesting if she was coaching me and we were also competing against each other.
Yes, yes. And they also said you were the first Pacifica. So you said you call yourself Mexinesian. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
so you're so wait. So what are you a mix of? It's
Um,
fascinating to me.
yeah, I'm Mexican, Hawaiian, Samoan. So
Oh, it's Samoa. So what do you
yeah,
say, Samoa? Yeah, that's oh wow. A
yeah,
lot of football players become a lot of Samoans
yeah. So
did
I
very
was
well.
saying Polynesian. I just like to say Polynesian because I groups up all of my Islander side, and
Okay.
then I'm Mexican, so I just mixed them together, Polynesian and Mexican.
Now, do you have family all over then? I mean, have you visited family? Like, have you ever done any like a backtrack and seen where all the family comes from? Like you've done a, or not really?
Well, not really. My family is very I hope this is the right word, estranged a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
Um,
same with me. Yeah, every family's
yeah.
crazy.
So, I grew up in Vegas. My mom moved from Hawaii to Vegas when she was like 19 and she settled out there. And then when she had me, her mom came, my grandma, and then she came out there to Vegas because I was her first grandchild and she wanted to be involved. And yeah, she brought her youngest son, but yeah, I went to Hawaii last year because my uncle passed and I got to meet some more of my family. But yeah, I don't really besides like my mom and my uncle and my grandma, like they're the main family that I grew up around growing up. And
Are
yeah,
I'm not trying to get personal. Are you in a
yeah,
relationship or anything? Are you? I saw someone in a picture, and I was like, I didn't know if you were. I was just kind of curious. Are you in
yeah,
a relate?
yeah, yeah, I am.
How long? How long? You've been dating?
Um it's been like it's been like 10 years.
Wow!
Yeah.
Congrats! Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Do you have
thank
any?
you, thank you.
All right. Yeah, we're hitting 7. We're almost at 7. We met at a 50th birthday party. We kinda got
Well,
set up and it worked out, so
oh, right on,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, right on. Now, does your partner, work out too or no? Not their thing?
No, they're not. They're like, "That's your thing."
"I'll come watch you, but I'm not doing that stuff."
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
oh,
much.
that's cool. Wow. Do you have any pets?
I do, I've got 2 dogs, I recently got a new cat.
Oh,
Um,
nice, very nice. You got a
yeah,
little wild kingdom right there. Do they ever
it's
come with
it's
you to the
growing.
gym? They ever come to the
The
gym with you?
dogs come with me to the gym, yeah, because one of them, he's a little annoying, and, I mean, he's not annoying, he's more
Yeah,
energetic than the other one.
okay, alright, I hear you.
So,
I know what you're
yeah.
talking. Wow.
So, yeah,
That's
he'll
ver
come to the gym with me, and, specifically when I have the gym to myself. The other gyms, there's just always people there, it's too much going
right.
on where probably if I brought them more often, they'd be more adjusted, but with this gym, I mean, they start crying as soon as we hit the parking lot, they know where they're at.
Oh,
They
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they love the gym actually because it has the
yeah.
mats and their paws are all grippy on it, and they can run around and yeah.
So if you work out the one closer, it's just you and the equipment. So you're
Yeah,
following a
just me.
program, but it's
Well, recently, I had a training partner. Well, he became my training partner. He moved recently to Washington, and so he started training in the evenings. So that was really nice. When he started training, I was like, "Oh, cool! I'll try to come more in the evenings with you because, yeah, sometimes it does get a little lonely training in the evenings by yourself."
right. That's what I was wondering about. Like, and a motivation factor too. If someone's there, you're doing a rep, and he's like, "Well, you do maybe."
Yeah, yeah, and I tell him that too, like, yeah, well, he's actually really nice. He goes, "It's really hard for me to, like, push you." Well, push anyone. He's just a nice guy. Where,
Okay,
like whereas, like, if he's failing or something, I'm like, "You better fucking get it." Like, I'm, like, giving him shit for it, and he's not like that at all, really. Like,
he's like,
he'll
"I'm
be like
afraid of you."
yeah. He'll, like, give me one motivational, like, "Come on, finish it," and if I quit, he won't say anything, but if he quits, I'm like, "Wow, that's all you had in you?" Like, so, yeah, so he's good for, just overall support, and then I have some other friends who will fucking give it to me, like yeah. So it's nice to have a balance of all types of training partners, really. Like some are really supportive, some I mean, they're all really supportive, but some will like give it to me and like really take me there of like, calling me out on my shit. And sometimes I need that. Sometimes I don't need that.
Right. Sometimes you're like, I got enough going on today. Leave me alone. You know what
Yeah.
I also noticed too when you're competing, Angelica, is so you put the war paint. You were right. It's war paint. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Um
Yeah.
Basically what that is in the Samoan culture, they do that when they do performances. And actually when was competing in America's Strongest Woman, I had when I was competing in America's Strongest Woman, I had my friend Alyssa Manu competing with me. She's full Samoan, and she was like, we should be representing our cultures on these stages because we are the first to ever be competing in these shows. And she was the one who really highlighted, like, like there's this is a predominantly at the time, predominantly white sport.
That is what.
Like
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say to you. Yeah, it is.
yeah, so she was really like, we gotta represent in these spaces, and she really brought that to me. And so I was like, okay, like, what should we do? Like, should we wear EA? Should our lava lavas, which is like a skirt or sarong that
Right.
we wear? And I was like, that's affecting our performance. And she came up with the C's. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's really cool. And like, yeah, like if you're Samoan, like you see that and like she's
I
Samoan.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought it was awesome. I just thought it
yeah,
was. I mean, I noticed it right away. I got ADD, so but I was like, that's really freaking cool, man. Because
yeah,
that's what I would think. I mean, that's why I kind of wanted you on. I think you were a little hesitant at first, but I was like, there's a lot of girls out there who don't look like all the other girls, and there's a lot of girls that aren't white girls. Like
yeah,
I get crazy about sports now, where you see all the athletes aren't the same color. All the coaches are white in every sport,
yeah,
pretty much. And
yeah,
you've broken into a sport where you said it's a lot of, and I just think it's great that there's a little girl out there who's like, "Wait, maybe I could do that someday." So I feel like you're you're carrying the torch in a way, like
oh,
showing it's like
yeah.
something you never even thought you like. Did you think you would think about when you were in college? Do you ever think you'd be where you are
No,
today doing this?
no, I don't. It's funny. I talked with my grandma about it too, because Yeah, like, we never like, yeah, we would say there were things that came up when I was younger, like, "Oh, you're pretty strong." Like, all my aunties and uncles, they would pay me to massage them because they're like, "You
You would
give good massages." And, I was a young kid giving good massages. Um, but I was like, "Grandma, like, it never was weird to you that I was, like, in 3rd grade helping your boyfriend carry the couch down the stairs? Like, you don't think that that was strange?" Like, I mean, back then, I didn't think it was strange either. I was
right.
like, super proud, like, "Oh, I could help." But, like, "Grandma,
It's like
like, I was helping your boyfriend carry the couch while we were moving," like, stuff like that. Um,
and like you said,
yeah,
track and field would have been, holy shit, the discus, the javelin. Oh my god, or the shot put.
shot
Oh my
put,
god,
yeah.
you would have, I mean, even in college. I
But, like,
mean,
sports was never
right,
yeah, like, it was more so it was an education. That's what it
right,
was. It's like
right.
if you're gonna be successful, you're gonna be successful in the books. You're gonna, get a good job. My grandma really wanted me to be a judge and like
Really.
yeah. Yeah. She would just wanted me to go to school and do good in school, and that was a priority for her.
So she's still now. So you went to Washington State, but she's still in Vegas.
Yes.
But you, it seems like she watches all your competitions. No.
Yeah, she watches everything.
Oh, she
She
does.
watches all my YouTube, all my Instagram, all my TikTok.
Oh
I
yeah.
I had to ban her from commenting on stuff.
Oh
I
yeah. Oh really?
yeah.
Really? You'd a banner? Really? What was she
Well,
saying?
she just says things that I don't think are polite, and they're polite to me, but they're not polite to other people. And
Really?
like she brings up the whole like, you know, and she's natural and like, I'm like, "Grandma, you don't need to say all of that. Like it's fine."
Right. 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 Right.
I don't want to stir the pot with anyone and I don't ever discredit anyone. Like, yeah, it's my decision to be natural. I don't have to be natural. The sport doesn't it actually I'm at a disadvantage being natural. I don't, So
You,
uh
you, and you're still
yeah.
beating them, and you're
Yeah.
still beating them, which has to piss them off. Which has to piss off some of these women. And it's like, hey, you know what? You can't take away natural strength. You're just, you're just strong. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I was drawn to. I was like, holy shit. She is like, yeah, I'd go to the gym and I'd be like, I'm gonna bring Angelica in. They'd be like, I go, Angelica, take over. And they'd be like, like that's it's amazing. It really is. So you talk to your grandma all the time. She's like,
Yeah, I mean, my grandma raised me, so
right. That's what I
she's
was.
played a pretty big mother role in my life. Um, but yeah, I talk to her pretty frequently. Um, you know, I visit
Yeah.
her, she comes and visit me. So I'm like, Vegas is not very far from Seattle. It's like a 2 hour time, 2 hour flight. So
How did you end up in Washington State? Was it for the job or just in gen? Like,
yeah, for the job. So I ended
okay,
up I was working as a contract with Microsoft when I moved here. I had a 2-year contract. And, I hated it here. I was like, as soon as
rains all
I'm
the time. It rains a lot, right?
yeah, I came the year that it rained for, like, 6 months straight, like
Oh, oof.
um, and, yeah, I was just like, as soon as my 2-year contract is up, I'm leaving, and, I left. I moved to Maryland, and I went to Maryland, and I was like, it's called Frederick, Maryland,
Yep.
so okay, you're familiar with that area,
Well,
and
I grew up in Jersey. I mean, I live in New York City, but yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah.
yeah,
So
so
it's quiet. It's quiet there, I
yeah,
would think.
it's quiet. I mean, it's not a small town. They had all the big, Walmarts and stuff like that. But it was different. I mean, going from Vegas, I lived in Tampa, then I went to Seattle, and then I went to Frederick, Maryland. And I was like, yeah, actually, Seattle didn't seem so bad after all. And so then I moved back there, moved back here.
All right.
And after that, though, it's this is what I'm saying. Like all these small decisions, right? They all lead into. Had I never moved to Maryland, I probably would have never got into CrossFit, or who knows. But because I experienced CrossFit in Maryland, I came back and I did football, which I've done before in Vegas. And then during football, I wanted to stay fit in the off season,
Wait, wait. Did
and
you say football? Football?
yeah, yeah, women's tackle football. Yeah.
Really? So you played in a league?
Yeah, yeah, the WNFC, they're a pretty big league, they're growing.
Wow. What position did you play in that? You played nose
I
tackle.
played,
Oh,
I just they tried to make me O-line. I was a lot better of a nose, which I
yeah.
loved. It's
Would you
simple. You go left, you go right.
so you got into that in Maryland? You got into the tackle football?
I got into that actually when I was 20 in Vegas, and then,
Okay.
life happened and jumped. Well, I got injured. I rolled my foot, and I just kept
Ugh.
getting injured in it and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
And then yeah, in college, just got really involved in college and just life and whatnot and jobs, and but yeah, so Maryland, I tried out CrossFitting. I didn't know anybody. Just there was one right next to the building I was working at, and then I came over to Seattle, and then in Seattle, I wanted to make friends and outside of work because all my friends I had were from work. And
Right.
so I was like, well, I did football in Vegas before, and I made really good friends from that. And then, yeah, so in the off season, I wanted to stay fit because I get really fit in football season. I'm like drop weight, I get not super lean, but I lean out a little bit, and then I just lose all that progress in the off season and come back and have to start all over again. So like this off season, I want to stay fit, and so that way I come back next year better and in shape still. And
So
that's
you're
where I
still so you're still playing football? No, you're not. You're still?
no, no.
No,
Yeah,
you're
once
you're
I
done.
found strongman, I was like,
Right.
"Alright,
You're like,
I've
"That's it."
gotta." Yeah,
Right.
I did it. That's where I went to CrossFit to stay in shape, and then, yeah, they ended up, like, inviting me to strongman and stuff like that, and then they got me to sign up for a show, my first show ever, and I was still playing football at this time. I was training for started training strongman, still playing football, and then I broke my middle finger on the last game of the season, and I had a show, like, 2 weeks from that game,
Wow.
and I was like, "I'm still gonna compete in it." Like, I've been training these last couple months to compete in the show. I'm still gonna compete in it. And so some of the events I wasn't able to really do, like the farmers. I mean, I
Right,
had a
because
broken middle. Yeah.
you can't
So
grip it.
yeah, my grip has actually got worse since then on my left hand side. Whenever I lose a grip event, it's always my left hand side that goes first.
Really?
Just 'cause, yeah, my it just hasn't been the same. It's just lacking compared to the right. And so yeah, I surprised myself in that event though. It was like a 180, 190 farmers, and I still picked it up with my broken finger. And then there was another event we had to like toss sandbags or like pick up sandbags, and I ended up just taping these 2 fingers together, and, yeah, so
But
it was really crazy. I still ended up winning the competition, um, so I was like, "Well, if I could win with the broken finger, I'll be," I could go to nationals with the better finger and have a better shot.
and it's the left hand you broke the finger, and it's so that's still the weak hand since you
Yeah,
broke it?
yeah, it has, like, a little lean to it. There's a very
Yes, I
slight
see it.
lean to it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I broke this wrist, and I'll tell you, I thought I was each he said a month later, he goes, "Start lifting." And I tore this bicep, and I got the surgery, and it knock on wood, I mean, it came back, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's just crazy how the wow, that's awesome. Now, so you got the competition in a couple weeks, and you're working with a couple companies, and so how often do you do your videos then for your TikTok, YouTube? I mean, whenever I guess whenever
Yeah.
if you feel like it,
Yeah, a little bit whenever I feel like it. Um, I think, I do it's really crazy. If you looked at my personal page prior to this, I had it when it was private, and it still is private, but, like, I rarely posted. I posted, a lot of it was, like, group pictures of my friends or
right,
my
right.
family, um, and even, like, if I younger self could see me being, like, someone recently called me an influencer or a content creator. I was like, "No, I don't think I'm a content creator." And they're like, "What are you talking about? You're a content creator." I'm like, "No, I don't think so." And then so it's sort of hard adjusting in my head around that of like thinking that I'm a content creator or something like that. But now I'm just starting to enjoy it. And I feel like because it is such a niche sport, it is a little bit of my duty to help grow the sport. Now that
Right.
I'm in it, now that I'm, on the largest stage, um, and if other people and broadcasters and channels aren't going to promote or showcase strong women, then I feel like then we gotta showcase ourselves, and that's what I think. My aim and my goal with my social media is to like, um, I want to have fun with it. I want to portray my real self, My biggest goal is how I portray myself online is, and when you meet me, I want it to feel the same exact person. So,
Which I got right away. That's what I think I
yeah,
was drawn. Everything I watch, it was like you said, no bullshit. It's like this is me. If you don't like it, then hey, but that I'm not changing. I'm going to be me, and that's what I
yeah,
get from you. You have a yeah, you really do.
yeah,
You have this personality that you just want to be like, all right, yeah. No, that's what
yeah,
I see with all your stuff. It's, don't you feel like sometimes you like I always felt like I had to put stuff up and I go, this is forced. This is forced. So I don't do like
yeah.
it has to come naturally in a
Yeah, and
way, you know?
sometimes, yeah, I'll go MIA for like a week, or whatever. It's just because I don't have anything to post, or I
Right,
don't feel like
right.
posting, or, well, really, a lot of times where I'm like not that active is because I'm with my family, and that's where I'm like the least active, because I do very much value in person time. Where if my friends
Agreed.
come and visit, unless like we're all actively on social media together, we'll fun sharing and like we'll do fun videos together. But like if my friend comes and they're not a social media person, then I won't be on social media because I'm really going to enjoy your time together. And I think it's also because I work from home, so I don't really get a lot of socialization with humans. So like when I'm with humans, I'm going to enjoy my human time.
Yeah, I'm home. My girlfriend's at work all day. I'm training people, or I'm home. She comes home. She's like, "Shut up." I'm like, "I
Yeah.
haven't talked to anybody all day. I've kind
Yeah,
of been by
that's
myself all
that's
day."
exactly me. That's exactly me. Where it's like I want to go out now. Like the day's
I'm
over.
like
I see
the
my
dogs. The
coworker.
dogs are
Yeah,
like, "Yeah,
I
yeah,
see
take
my
me out."
that's what the gym does for me though. Like I see my coworkers once or twice a year. Other than that, I don't really see any humans all day. I'm behind the screen. So going to
Right.
gym, getting
Yeah.
that socialization in,
Yeah.
um, it,
100%.
it helps.
So I want you to give, if you could give shout outs, anything you want to give out to, I really appreciate your time. I want to have you back on again.
Yeah,
I don't even, maybe is it after you do the event? I don't know what, or yeah, I know you're on a schedule, but
yeah.
I'd like to do this again because I just think you're awesome to talk to. And
Oh,
yeah,
thank you. Yeah, maybe after the Arnold, so we'll have like some things to talk about
yeah,
then.
and I'm watching it now. I'm putting it on
Yeah.
my calendar. I put it on the calendar. But
Yeah.
any shout outs you want to give to
Yeah.
any?
I'll give a shout out to my grandma first, because if you're watching this, grandma, I love you. And yeah, and then and my nephew, I love him too. And yeah, if you're into sports, strength sports, and you have any questions about strongman, my DMs are always open. I do respond. And if you're looking for any gear, Cerberus does really good. And yeah, just thank you so much, JD, for having me on. I appreciate that, and for you finding me, and just choosing me like as a person that you want to talk to. That's really cool.
You
That
you you're amazing, Angelica. You are, and you'll find a good nickname. Yeah, I was
yeah.
curious if you like. They called the AJ during the competition. I'm like, I wonder if she likes that. And you're like, oh no, I don't. And I was like, all right,
Yeah, I don't like and I get why people do it. It's really someone told me, like, it's really hard to cheer Angelica. Like, it's really hard. It's 4 syllables.
Angelica. Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
takes a long
Yeah.
time, right, to get it out.
Yeah. So, like, I understand AJ's, like, very simple, to the point. Um, but yeah, I there's a lot of AJs in this world, and there's only one of me, so I want a nickname that's
Exactly,
yeah.
because my grandma called me JD, and that's why I kept. That's why my name's Jonathan, but
Yeah.
she called me JD, and that's why I think of my like it's. So I
Yeah.
find I find it nice in a way. We both the grandmother thing. Like yeah, my grandma was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so we have that connection. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time tonight. Are you're not training tonight, are you?
No, today's a rest day, thankfully. Yeah, rest day, and then I'll start week 2 tomorrow. So, yeah, I got some deadlifts on the docket. That'll be fun.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And she Angelica's on TikTok, YouTube, and on
Oh
the
yeah, I didn't really shout myself out. Yeah. uh,
yeah.
yeah. So you can find me on YouTube if you search Angelica Jardine. Same as well as Instagram, Angelica Jardine Strongwoman, and then TikTok. Um, honestly, just Angelica Jardine, and I should show up
So
there.
not
So
on Twitter, but not on Twitter. You're not on Twitter.
no, I'm not on Twitter. I am on Threads. I do
Oh, you are.
Threads. Yeah.
Okay, so Threads.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for you there. Okay.
I'm a little talkative, not talkative on Threads, but yeah, I definitely I think I'm a little bit more personal and on my Threads, just because not a lot of people follow me, so I feel like less pressure to
Well,
carry myself.
I'm following you
Yeah.
now, and you gotta watch your videos. You just gotta just watching you train is awesome. That's what I tell everybody. You gotta watch your training. So
Oh,
yeah.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, have a great night. I really appreciate your time. All right. Thanks so much for
Yes,
coming
thank
on
you.
today.
You have a good evening as well.
You too. You too. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye, JD.
Bye bye.